Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ventura TV. I'm Sandra Siepak. On today's show, we're welcoming Dani Anderson. She is the new Ventura County Disability Access Manager. So we want to welcome you to the show, Dani, and thank you so much for joining us. And of course, congratulations on your new position.
Thank you. Thank you
Great.
for having me.
Very good. We'd like to know a little bit more about your role in this position with Ventura County, and you could maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the new Disability Access Manager, as you mentioned, first ever in Ventura County, and my in most or all of the counties in California. And basically the goal for this position is really to increase accessibility, both architecturally, attitudinally, and in every way that we can to help Ventura County be more accessible, welcoming, and inclusive of people with disabilities.
Terrific. That sounds great. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to get this position.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm born and raised in Thousand Oaks. I'm a Ventura County girl. I have a very rare form of muscular dystrophy that I was born with. So as I progressed and aged, I started using a wheelchair. And so I now use a power wheelchair, which you can't tell because we're, of course, in a virtual space. But I do use a power wheelchair and have a lot of professional and obviously personal experience with disability. I lived in Sacramento for a while, working for some state agencies around disability programs, nonprofit here locally. And disability has always been a part of my all of my different jobs, and just really focused on helping with advocacy services and programs, especially locally.
Very good. We'd like to know some about the priorities you have for the role and what you would like to handle as far as future goals for the role.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of goals for this role. It's a very broad job, if you will. There's a lot going on. I think that main things in the beginning are doing an assessment around the county facilities, services to kind of gauge our accessibility and how we can do better, and then work on making those things better. And then also part of my position is working with the Office of Emergency Services and ensuring that if we are to have an emergency or a disaster, that our response is as accessible as possible. That could be in our communication, it could be in our sheltering and our evacuations, many different components to that accessibility, but really across the board, it's just about increasing the accessibility and the knowledge around disability is, it's very specialized and broad at the same time.
Right. And I think, our viewers might be interested in knowing a little bit of knowledge behind what is access and functional needs, as well as disability access. What are all those things? And maybe you can define each of them.
Yeah, so the broader, it's a FEMA definition, is access and functional needs, or AFN, and that has been estimated at like 80% of the population. A lot of people are included in that definition. It's disability, older adults, people who don't speak English as a first language, children, pregnant women, people with transportation challenges, homelessness. It's a very, very broad definition, but if you really kind of narrow down on that definition and you look at disability access and functional needs, or DAFN, that's more of the population that I'll be focusing on, which are people with any type, quote unquote, type of disability, as well as older adults who are experiencing disabling conditions.
Right. So you'll be handling different people of all ages.
Yes.
And it's amazing that a disability can encompass a lot of different things. It's just not a physical thing. It can be involving a mental disability as well. So a lot of people may think, oh, a disability is just a physical thing, but it's not.
Correct. There's far more what we call hidden disabilities than there are apparent disabilities. So for me, for example, I roll into a room and right away that I have a disability, but there's a lot of people who have hidden disabilities, whether it's learning, mental health, cancers, autoimmune disabilities, hearing, many disabilities you can't see. So we are working on ways to be better equipped in accommodating people with hidden disabilities as well, who oftentimes have a harder time getting the accommodations that they need because they have to go further to prove, if you will, that they have a disability.
Right. And, that brings me to a question I'd have about those who certainly want to contribute and be in the workforce. How does a disability hold them back, especially in a job interview? Do you see a lot of changes there now than you did maybe a couple of years ago?
Yeah, there's definitely been improvements, I would say, in recent history around employment and people with disabilities. We're in October as we record this, and it's National Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Okay.
And unfortunately, about 75% of Americans with disabilities are unemployed. And a lot of the people who are employed are not employed full time. So when we're looking at that systemic issue, we really have to think about program services and things that we can do to help employers to realize that people with disabilities have unique perspectives, talents, and knowledge that can definitely be good for their businesses, and giving an opportunity to people with disabilities and not seeing them as more expensive or a risk, or these stereotypical thoughts that people have about people with disabilities, but hiring them because they are the most qualified candidate regardless of their disability status is what it's really all about.
Right. And that's good to hear. Do you think they're stepping up? Do you think things are getting better for those with a disability who want to be in the workforce?
I think they are. I do. I think that a lot of big companies are focusing a lot more on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I think that it is helping. I think it's slow. It's slow. I mean, as all large improvements like this are, but we're definitely seeing small improvements, and hopefully, my role and working more throughout the county can have at least a bigger local impact in the near future.
Good. So in your office now, if someone comes to you and they have a question or would like to know more about how you can help them, how would they be able to reach you at the Ventura County office?
Yeah, they can email me anytime, Dani, Dani.Anderson, Anderson, at Ventura.org.
And are you going to be out in the community? Will you be out helping with different projects or concerns that people have here in Ventura County?
Yes, I'm looking very forward to getting out into the community more. Planning in the next few months to start having community forums related to our assessment and transition plan, looking at accessibility through the county. And again, accessibility, not just physically, not just looking at ramps and elevators, but looking at the way services are provided and communication as well. So I'm looking forward to getting out to the community and hearing what the residents have to say and how we can improve.
And how about being in contact with local businesses too? Would you have a say in that?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to hear from all of those perspectives. I think they're all important. They all need to be brought to the table, and they'll all benefit us as a county and as a community.
Okay, sounds good. So could you provide the website for Ventura County? And if anybody has any questions, again, we mentioned your email, if you could give it to us one more time.
Absolutely. So the county's website is Ventura.org, and I'm not on there yet, but I will be soon. Started a couple weeks ago, so we're working on that. But my direct email address is Dani, Dani.Anderson, Anderson, at Ventura.org.
Well, Dani Anderson, the new Ventura County Disability Access Manager, we wish you all the best for the future. This is a nice change for the county now to have somebody in place that will be able to answer a lot of questions and concerns that those who are disabled may want to know more about. So we'll hope that they be in touch with you should they want to know more about what you're doing here in Ventura County. And thank you for joining us on the show. It's been a pleasure hearing more about this. We invite everybody to get a hold of Dani if you do have a question or concern. So thank you again, and thank all of you for joining us today on Our Ventura TV. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.